Rejection is a grenade with the pin taken out. Give it to somebody else. Rejection, whenever I looked at its target, I said to myself, did I communicate what I was trying to say effectively? Did I communicate it also like I have one mouth and two ears? That means I listened twice as much as I was speaking to the person. Did I study what the person wanted? Was their body language showing me something? Was I pressing it too much? And then if they rejected me, then I would say, well, maybe they weren't ready for it. They didn't get it. You know, no to me, as the CMO of Pepsi told me one day, no to me is a request for more information. And then when I went home, I didn't say to myself, well, maybe it's because I'm short. Maybe it's because I'm African American. Maybe it's because I'm poor. Maybe it's because I'm extremely good looking. I would say to myself, there's somebody gonna find value in what I'm doing. You know, I gotta deal with Samsung's textile division. Anybody heard of Samsung's textile division? I didn't go to number 1, number 2. I didn't go to Nike and Ralph Lauren. I went to number 200, who wants to be number 1. And when people walk through those doors, they want to feel like number 1. And I'm so confident in myself, if you don't find value in me, maybe it wasn't in the cards. It's not my problem though, because I'm going to keep investing in myself. I think that the 3 pillars to success, the hardest pillar is knowing your why. You know, too many of us are trying to do our why because our parents said that that was success when they were growing up. Or we're trying to impress a bunch of people on social media that we actually don't know. But once I know my why, then I know how to set the appropriate goals. And when I set the appropriate goals, I know how to do my homework to enforce the goals. But a lot of us are not truthful about our why. We're in horrible relationships, and we're afraid because we just don't want to leave the relationship because we think that we don't have any value and we don't want to go someplace else. But I get lost sometimes. I reset, and I do this thing called goal setting. I do it every single night, every single morning. I would say it is the number 1 reason that I've experienced whatever success I've had. I haven't come up with the idea. I got it from Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which I've read 24 times. Every single night when I go to bed, I read the same exact 10 goals. 6 of them expire in 6 months, the other 4 expire in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years. I never hit my 6-month goals. If I'm gonna make this amount of money, I make this amount. When I reset is this. I'm gonna spend this amount of time with my family, this amount, boom. Lose this amount of weight. The reason why I read them before I go to bed is because I want it to be the last thing I think about when I go to sleep. And the reason I read it in the morning, because if I don't, we're too connected and we let everybody take the most precious things that we have in our life from us in the morning. We let them take our time and our thoughts. Because I'm human. If I don't read them once every 2 weeks, I do this in the morning. I look at social media first. And everybody I know on social media, they're richer than me, they're skinnier than me, and they're all in Greece, for Christ's sakes. When do these people work? And then I do this. I open up the email. And opening up an email is letting somebody else, letting their problems into your life. Before you even kiss your dog or your significant other, they might be the same person. But if you open up your email, you let everybody problems in there. So if I don't do my goal setting, well, now I wake up with social media depression and everybody else's problems on my mind. I go and drill down on my why. Started 8 years ago, and maybe 9 years ago, I started cutting off, New Year's Eve, I started cutting off who I felt that was toxic in my life. And if they weren't a good friend to themselves, they would never be a good friend to me. Or if I wasn't a good friend to them, there was a reason why. Maybe I just wasn't a good friend. And I cut off that year, I cut off 8 people. The next year I cut off like 3. Now I don't have to cut anybody off. But it was that person that maybe I didn't speak to for a month at a time, but every time I posted something or every time I wanted to say something or even be honest with them, I was dying by paper cuts.
You cut them off?
Gone. Don't speak to them at all. And my life has been better. You know why? I made more time for people that I could appreciate and love and that could love me. And those things, we are often consumed by them. We can't be a good servant to anybody if we are dying with this toxicity. You know, every person here is a customer to the boss, and the boss is a customer to you. You can't be of any value if you're not happy with yourselves.